My boyfriend is a psycho control freak. He installed 13 hidden cameras in my room. Every single move I make is under his watch. He thinks he is being so damn slick about it. But I've known all along the reason I haven't called him out. Well, I am not exactly normal either. Just thinking about him watching me through those screens makes my adrenaline spike. I get so excited I can barely control myself. I mean, come on. A total psycho straight out of a novel. And I finally found a living, breathing one. When I woke up, Ethan had already left for work. Last night's activities were too intense. Every muscle in my body ached. I just lay back down under the covers, counting silently. When I reached 100, the maid knocked on the door. "Good morning, Miss Lily. Breakfast is ready. Let me help you up." He supported my sore waist and easily lifted me up. "Mr. Ethan just called. He has arranged for a massage therapist to come at 10:30. After breakfast. You can rest a bit before the session starts." I blushed and looked down, playing the shy girlfriend. But inside I was giving him a mental thumbs. This efficiency, this attention to detail. Who wouldn't be impressed? I don't know what those heroines and psycho novels were thinking, running away from such a good life. Isn't this way better than those guys who don't even lift the toilet seat and spend all day on the couch, scratching their balls off? I am just too shallow to understand the heroine's noble mindset. I shook my head regretfully and let out a series of moans. The massage therapist Ethan hired was truly skilled. Having my exhausted muscles kneaded felt absolutely incredible. Plus, I glanced at the ornate fruit platter the butler brought in. I decided to moan even more seductively. Whatever. I had nothing better to do after eating my fill. Might as well tease a certain someone far away in his office. Can see, but can't touch. But that is driving you crazy. I was still giggling to myself when the butler suddenly took a phone call. The usual 2-hour massage ended in less than half an hour. Shit. This backfired. I needed to express my displeasure. After adjusting my glasses, I decided to imitate those psycho novel heroines and run away from home. Haha. Based on my years of novel reading experience, psycho male leads usually lack a sense of security. They want to keep their girlfriends under their watch. 24/7. The heroine dares to pull an escape stunt. She'll definitely get dragged back. Then they'll go at it for 3 days and 3 nights straight. And afterward, she'll be kept under even tighter surveillance. Just thinking about it made me drool. Wiping my mouth, I put on a melancholy expression and said to the butler, "James, I want to go out for a walk. I won't be back." "For dinner." James paused while handing me tea. "Sir, specifically requested a Michelin chef to prepare dinner tonight. Are you sure you want to go out?" I swallowed hard, but thinking of my future happiness, I reluctantly declined. Unable to tempt me with food, James had no choice but to call Ethan for instructions. After a few words, he handed me the phone. "Why do you want to go out?" Ethan's magnetic voice came through, making my ears tingle. Oh, my God. Not only is this guy a psycho, he is also gorgeous. And on top of being gorgeous, his voice is this damn sexy. It is killing me. He should be doing voice acting for psycho male leads, giving all the ladies online something good to feast on. Imagining him doing voice work couldn't suppress my grin. "Why aren't you saying anything? Are you unhappy today?" His voice softened. I held back my laughter and made a half-hearted sound to show I was listening. "The gaming room upstairs is finished. All top-of-the-line equipment. Want to try it out?" He coaxed me. "Or you could go to the pool. The water was changed this morning. It is very clean. Oh. And those cymbidium orchids you like have been moved to the greenhouse. The gardener says they're blooming right now. If you miss it, you'll have to wait until next year." I grew more hesitant as I listened, but I still gritted my teeth and refused. "I just want to go out today. I've been stuck at home for over 10 days. No matter how nice it is, I am getting sick of it." I pouted unwillingly, but inside I was frantically shaking my head. "Not sick of it. Not sick of it. I could stay here forever. I don't want to go out at all." "Why, the line went silent. After a few seconds, Ethan finally spoke. "All right, have the driver take you out, but the food outside isn't clean. So don't eat out there. Come back before dinner. Okay?" That little okay at the end hit me right in the heart. I instinctively clutched my chest and collapsed onto the massage table, agreeing. After hanging up, I screamed internally. A man this perfect. I had to hold on to him tight. With that determination, I vowed to make a big move today. My plan: take a long-distance bus to the neighboring city, then keep heading north. Along the way, I'd hide my identity so no one could find me. Only this way would Ethan understand my determination to run away. Why not take a plane? Well, I was afraid if I went too far, Ethan wouldn't be able to find me quickly enough. Lost in my calculations, I planned to first find a store to buy some inconspicuous clothes. After all, my Gucci miniskirt wasn't exactly practical for traveling. But just as I finalized my plan, I noticed the car had looped past the park near our house again. Why are we back here? I asked, confused. Mr. Ethan instructed me to drive around near the house. You still don't want to go home? I'll keep circling, the driver replied respectfully. After my insistent demands, the driver finally got on the highway toward the busy downtown area. I had him stop at a mall entrance and got out, despite his protests. Wait for me at the entrance. Go park first. He looked anxious. Mr. Ethan said you can't be alone. I didn't care. I waved him off and walked away without looking back. The cars behind him were honking like crazy, so he couldn't stop. I rushed to the nearest store, picked out an outfit, changed, and took a cab to the bus station. I bought a ticket for the earliest departing bus. The moment I got on, I regretted it. The bus was packed. I squeezed from front to back, inhaling God knows how many people's body odor and breath along the way. I finally found a seat, but there were ancient stains on the cushion and a greasy film on the armrest. Is it too late to go back? After hesitating, I carefully sat down anyway. Whatever to get the hot guy. I had to suffer a little. I opened my phone and remembered I'd already tossed my SIM card. With nothing to do, I closed my eyes to sleep. Ethan, you better come find me quick. Preferably right when I wake up. Then take me home and ravish me for 7 days and 7 nights. It is no fun out here at all. I dozed off without realizing it. When I woke up, we'd arrived at the neighboring city. Everyone else had gotten off. I hurriedly got off too. Disappointingly, Ethan hadn't appeared as I'd hoped. According to my plan, I still had to keep heading north, rubbing my empty stomach. I decided to give Ethan one more meal's worth of time. I found a ramen shop. Since getting together with Ethan, I hadn't eaten out once. He had a cleanliness obsession and always thought outside food was dirty. This time I could finally satisfy my craving. I ordered a large bowl of ramen. But when I went to pay, I realized my phone and wallet were gone. Damn it, I must have left them on the bus. I rushed back to the station, but that bus had already left. Again, I stood there stupidly in the sunlight, feeling like I've been transported to the dead of winter. For someone who is hungry, being broke is the cruelest thing. I squatted by a wall, pulling up grass, thinking my escape plan was the stupidest thing ever. If I were home right now, James would have already prepared an exquisite afternoon tea, and the Michelin chef would be starting on dinner. Why the hell did I leave such a good life to pull this escape stunt? And Ethan? What a waste. Usually looks all psycho. But I've been gone this long, and he still can't find me. Could you be any more useless? My escape plan wasn't going to turn into a begging plan, was it? I squatted there for another hour. My legs were numb, my stomach was singing a death metal song, and my Gucci skirt was definitely getting dust on it. Being a heroine in a runaway novel is a scam. A total scam. In the books, the girl runs away and immediately bumps into a gentle, second male lead type who owns a coffee shop, gives her a free latte, and offers her a job. Where was my coffee shop guy? Instead, the only person who approached me was a stray dog who sniffed my limited edition sneakers and decided they weren't edible. Shoo, I whispered weakly. I'm not food. Go find a trash can. The sun began to set. The temperature dropped, and with it my IQ. I was seriously considering walking into a police station and turning myself in as a missing person. Officer, please, I'm an idiot. My boyfriend is a billionaire psycho, call him, tell him I'm sorry, and tell him to bring the Bentley. Just as I stood up to execute this shameful plan, a shadow fell over me. Finally, the generic thug. This was a classic plot point. I'd get harassed, and Ethan would swoop in like Batman, break a few of the guy's fingers, and carry me off. I looked up, expecting a scary gangster. Instead, it was a greasy guy in a stained tank top, picking his teeth. Hey, pretty lady, he grinned, revealing a landscape of dental neglect. You look lost. Need a place to crash? My romantic filter shattered. This wasn't a plot point. This was just gross. No thanks, I said, stepping back. My husband is coming to pick me up. He's very large, and has a gun, and anger issues. The guy laughed, stepping closer. I don't see no husband. I see a girl with a nice watch. He reached for my wrist. Okay, panic time. I opened my mouth to scream, but before sound could leave my throat, the air around us changed. It wasn't a sound. It was a drop in pressure. The noisy street seemed to go quiet. The wind stopped. The greasy guy froze, his hand hovering inches from my arm. He looked past me, his eyes widening in genuine terror. I turned around slowly, my heart hammering a rhythm that sounded suspiciously like, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Across the street, 3 black SUVs were idling. They hadn't made a sound pulling up. They looked like predators lying in wait. The middle car's door opened. A polished leather shoe stepped onto the dirty pavement. Then, a long leg clad in charcoal gray trousers. Ethan stood up. He adjusted his cufflinks with agonizing slowness. He didn't look angry. He didn't look worried. He looked bored, like he was inspecting a smudge on a window. He raised his eyes. That gaze. It was physical. It felt like being doused in ice water and set on fire simultaneously. He looked at the greasy guy, then at me. The greasy guy, sensing his survival instincts kicking in, backed away. I was just helping her. Ethan didn't speak. He just tilted his head slightly to the left. Two men in suits materialized from the other SUVs. They didn't run, they glided. Within seconds, the greasy guy was ushered away into an alley, politely, but with a firmness that suggested he wouldn't be picking his teeth in public for a while. I stood there, shivering. Run to him, my brain said. Run to him, cry, and bury your face in his chest. But Ethan didn't open his arms. He stood by the car door, one hand in his pocket, watching me. He was waiting. He was making me walk to him. Damn him. He knows exactly what he's doing. I swallowed my pride, straightened my back, and began the walk of shame across the street. My legs were wobbling, partly from hunger, mostly from the sheer terrifying hotness radiating off him. When I reached him, I stopped, looking at his tie knot, because looking him in the eye felt dangerous. "Did you have a nice walk?" he asked. His voice was smooth, devoid of emotion. It was refreshing. I lied, my voice trembling. "And the bus?" he continued, reaching out to tuck a stray hair behind my ear. His fingers brushed my cheek, cold and electrifying. "Was the hygiene up to your standards?" "It was an experience." "I see." His hand moved from my ear to my chin, lifting my face, so I had to look at him. His eyes were dark pools of absolute madness. "You look hungry, Lily." "I could eat," I whispered. "Get in the car." I expected him to yell. I expected him to shake me. I expected passionate, angry kisses the moment the door closed. Instead, I got silence. The partition between the driver and the back seat was up. It was just us in the spacious, leather-scented interior of the Maybach. Ethan sat on his side, scrolling through something on his tablet. He looked completely unbothered. I, on the other hand, was a mess. "Ethan?" I tried. He didn't look up. "I lost my phone." "I know," he said calmly. "I tracked it to a pawn shop in the district 3 hours ago. It has been retrieved, along with the hand of the man who took it." I choked on air. "You what?" "A joke," he said, finally glancing at me with a ghost of a smirk. "Mostly." He tapped the screen of his tablet and set it aside. Then he opened the mini fridge. He pulled out a small glass container. Inside was a single, perfectly crafted truffle cake. My stomach growled loud enough to be heard in the front seat. Ethan held the cake. He didn't hand it to me. "You said you wanted to eat outside food," he mused, examining the cake. "This isn't outside food. This is from our chef. I suppose you don't want it." "I want it," I said quickly. "I really, really want it." "But you wanted freedom," he countered softly. "Freedom usually tastes like cup noodles and anxiety. Are you sure you want to trade that for this?" "I hate freedom," I declared, inching closer to him. "Freedom is overrated. Freedom doesn't have chocolate ganache." He chuckled, a dark, low sound that vibrated through the seat. "Come here." I scrambled over the center console, practically falling into his lap. He caught me easily, his arm clamping around my waist like a steel band. He didn't give me the cake immediately. Instead, he buried his face in my neck, inhaling deeply. "You smell like exhaust fumes and cheap soap," he murmured, his lips grazing my pulse point. "Disgusting." "I'm sorry," I whimpered, melting against him. "You will be," he promised. Then he fed me the cake, bite by bite, watching my lips move with an intensity that made swallowing difficult. When I licked a bit of chocolate from his thumb, his eyes darkened to pitch black. "James," he spoke into the intercom. "Yes, sir?" "Drive faster." When we arrived home, the atmosphere was different. Usually the maids and staff would be bustling about. Tonight, the house was silent. The lights were dimmed. It felt less like a home and more like a predator's lair. Ethan didn't let me walk. He carried me from the car, through the grand foyer, and straight up the stairs. "Ethan, I can walk," I said weakly. "You've done enough walking today," he said. "You left my sight for 8 hours, 43 minutes, and 12 seconds. Do you know how many times I could have killed the world in that time? That seems inefficient." He kicked the bedroom door open. My jaw dropped. The room had changed. The windows, those beautiful, floor-to-ceiling French windows, were gone. Well, not gone but covered by heavy, automated metal shutters that were currently sealed tight. And the door, did the door always have a digital keypad and a biometric scanner? "Renovations?" I asked, eyeing the new lock. "Security upgrades," he corrected, dropping me onto the bed. The mattress was softer than I remembered. Or maybe the bus seat had just traumatized my butt. He began to undo his tie. He tossed it onto the floor. Then the jacket. Then the cufflinks. You scared me, Lily, he said. His voice wasn't playful anymore. He walked to the edge of the bed and placed his hands on either side of me, trapping me. I don't like being scared. I felt bored. I confessed, my voice small. I wanted to see if you'd come. I will always come, he hissed, leaning down until our noses touched. If you go to space, I will build a rocket. If you go to hell, I will conquer it. There is nowhere you can go where I am not. He grabbed my hand and pressed it against his chest. His heart was beating calmly, steadily. From now on, he whispered, his lips brushing mine, you don't go out. Not for a walk. Not for the garden. If you want fresh air, I will bottle it for you. If you want to see the sun, I will buy you a painting of it. That sounds expensive, I breathed, my brain short-circuiting from the pheromones. You have no idea. He kissed me then. It wasn't gentle. It was a claim. It was a stamp of ownership. It tasted like chocolate and obsession. Remember how I joked about him ravishing me for 7 days and 7 nights? I really should stop manifesting things. The next week was a blur. A haze of sensory overload. Ethan took working from home to a new level. He didn't leave the room. He had meetings on his laptop while I lay next to him, forbidden from moving, just so he could keep a hand on my ankle. If I tried to get up to go to the bathroom, he would pause the meeting, ignoring the confused board of directors on the screen, and carry me there. I can pee by myself, Ethan. I protested on day 3. You can, but I prefer to supervise. In case you try to flush yourself down the toilet to escape again. I'm not a goldfish. But secretly, I loved it. I loved the way his eyes tracked me constantly. I loved the way he ordered food to be brought to the bed. I loved that for 7 days, the entire world outside ceased to exist, and my entire universe was just this man and his beautiful, terrifying neurosis. By day 5, I was getting a little stir-crazy, but not for freedom. I just wanted to see the rest of the house. Can we go to the gaming room? I asked, tracing the muscles of his arm. No. The pool. Too much water. You might swim away. Ethan, the pool is indoors. Submarines exist, Lily. I burst out laughing. You are insane. He looked at me, dead serious. Only for you. On the 8th day, the shutters opened. Sunlight hit my face, and I hissed like a vampire. Morning, Ethan said, walking out of the walk-in closet fully dressed in a crisp navy suit. He looked human again. Are we done? I asked, sitting up and pulling the silk sheet around me. The disciplinary period is over, he stated, adjusting his watch. However, new protocols are in place. He tossed a small velvet box onto the bed. I opened it. Inside was a stunning diamond anklet. It was delicate, shimmering, and worth more than my life. It's beautiful, I gasped. It has a GPS tracker with a battery life of 10 years, he said casually. It is also waterproof, shockproof, and if you try to cut it off, it sends an alert to my phone and the local police. I stared at the jewelry. A diamond shackle. Put it on, he ordered softly. I didn't hesitate. I clasped it around my ankle. It fit perfectly. Good girl. He walked over, kissed my forehead, and checked his phone. I have to go to the office. A merger needs my attention. James is downstairs. The gaming room is open. The pool is open. He paused at the door. But the front gate is welded shut. I blinked. Welded. Metaphorically. The guards have been doubled. And they're all former Navy SEALs who are terrified of me. Don't try to bribe them. I pay them more in a month than they'd make in a lifetime. I learned my lesson, I said, flopping back onto the pillows. Running away is too much cardio anyway. He smiled, a genuine, dazzling smile that made my knees weak even while lying down. I'll be home for dinner. Michelin chef again. Don't be late. Life settled into a new normal. I was the queen of the castle, provided the castle was a high-security fortress. I spent my days swimming, gaming, and online shopping with Ethan's black card, obviously. Sometimes, I'd get a fleeting thought of the outside world. I'd watch a travel vlogger on YouTube and think, oh, Paris looks nice. Then I'd mention it to Ethan over dinner. Paris? He'd say, slicing his steak with surgical precision. We can go to Paris. Really? Yes. I'll buy a private island near France. We can build a replica of the Eiffel Tower there. No tourists. Just us. I'd sigh, shaking my head. You're impossible. I'm efficient. One afternoon, James came in with a package. Miss Lily, this arrived for you. It was screened by security. It's safe. I opened the box. Inside was a stack of books. Romance novels. I picked up the top one. It was a new release. The CEO's Captive Bride. I flipped to the back. The author's bio was generic, but the dedication caught my eye. To L, keep running. It makes the catching so much more fun. I froze. I looked at the publisher. It was a subsidiary of Ethan's media conglomerate. I flipped through the book. The heroine was a girl who liked Gucci skirts. The hero was a control freak who installed cameras. He had commissioned a romance novel about us. I laughed. I laughed so hard I fell off the couch. Most girls want flowers. Some want jewelry. I got a personalized, mass-market paperback about my own kidnapping fantasy. I picked up the phone, my new phone, which was programmed to only call one number, and dialed. "Read the dedication?" Ethan's voice answered before I even said hello. "You are a total psycho," I said, grinning like a fool. "And you," he replied, his voice dropping to that sexy, magnetic register, "are the only one crazy enough to stay." "Get home early," I said, biting my lip. "I think I want to try escaping to the attic tonight." I could practically hear his smirk through the phone. "Start running, Lily. I'm leaving the office now." I hung up, adjusted my glasses, and looked at the camera hidden in the smoke detector. I gave it a wink. The heroine in the book might want to be saved. But me? I was exactly where I belonged. Game on.